Imagine a Roman soldier far from home holding a silver coin to the fading light. He bites it, not from hunger, but from suspicion. Is it real? Has someone shaved off the edges, stealing its value? That single coin decides if he eats tonight, if the local merchant will even listen to him, if the empire itself still holds together. Money has always been more fragile than it looks. We think of it as solid coins that clink, bills that fold, numbers sitting calmly in a bank account. But beneath every form money has ever taken lies something invisible, something easy to lose and painfully slow to rebuild. That thing is trust. Without trust, money is just metal, paper, or pixels. But with it, money becomes one of the most powerful ideas humans have ever invented. Welcome to Behind the Money. We're here to decode the financial world, revealing the stories, the systems, and the power plays that define our modern era. If you've ever wondered about the real story behind wealth and influence, you're in the right place. Subscribe now, and let's uncover these secrets together. You'll never look at money the same way again. Long before coins existed, people traded on reputation. In small villages, everyone knew everyone. If you promised grain today for a goat tomorrow, your word was the currency. If you broke that promise, the market closed to you forever. Trust was personal, local, and brutally enforced by memory. But as societies grew, memory wasn't enough. When strangers started trading with strangers, trust needed a new container, something portable, something that didn't rely on knowing a face or a family name. That container became money. The very first coins minted in ancient Lydia around the 7th century BCE were revolutionary, not because they were shiny, but because they were stamped with a mark from an authority that said, "You can trust this." The coin didn't just hold value. It held a promise that the metal inside was what it claimed to be, and that others would accept it too. That promise was everything, and it was constantly under attack. Throughout history, rulers discovered a dangerous temptation. If trust creates money, then manipulating trust can create even more of it, at least for a little while. Roman emperors, for example, quietly reduced the silver content in their coins to pay soldiers and fund wars. At first, nobody noticed. The coins looked the same, but value was leaking out. Prices rose, merchants demanded more coins for their goods, and soldiers demanded higher pay. Slowly but surely, confidence cracked. By the 3rd century, Roman coins contained almost no silver at all. The empire hadn't just debased its currency, it had debased belief itself. Trade ground to a halt. People went back to bartering. The government couldn't collect taxes. An empire that once spanned continents struggled to pay its own armies. This pattern repeats itself again and again. In medieval China, paper money appeared centuries before it reached Europe. It was lighter, easier to transport, and wildly successful at first. But paper money required something radical. Trust not in precious metal, but in restraint. When governments printed too much, inflation followed. Dynasties didn't just rise and fall on military strength, but on whether people still believed the paper in their hands would mean something tomorrow. In Europe, distrust of rulers ran deep. For centuries, people preferred gold and silver because kings could lie, but metal, they believed, could not. Banks emerged as the new custodians of trust, holding deposits and issuing notes that promised redemption in gold or silver. A banknote wasn't valuable because of the paper it was printed on. It was valuable because of the promise behind it. And when that promise broke, panic always followed. In 1720, Britain's South Sea bubble collapsed. Speculation turned into terror almost overnight. People rushed to convert their paper claims back into real assets. Markets froze, fortunes vanished. The lesson was brutal and unforgettable. Money depends less on math than it does on faith. Fast forward to the 20th century, and the world took another giant leap of trust. In 1971, the United States ended the gold standard. Overnight, the dollar was no longer redeemable for gold. It was backed by something far stranger, confidence in institutions and laws, and in the shared belief that everyone else would keep accepting it. Critics predicted a total collapse. And yet the system held, not because this new fiat money is magically stable, but because trust simply shifted. It moved from metal and vaults to the institutions and laws that govern us, from physical scarcity to a collective agreement. But trust is never permanent. Every financial crisis is, at its core, a crisis of belief. In 1929, it was a crisis of belief in endless growth. In 2008, it was a crisis of belief in risk-free housing markets and invincible banks. When that trust snaps, money stops flowing. Credit freezes. People stop asking, "What is this worth?" and start asking, "Will anyone else still take it?" That question matters more today than ever before. Modern money is mostly invisible. It lives on servers, moves at the speed of light, and is created with keystrokes. When you tap a card or send a payment, no coins move, no bills change hands. What moves is trust in banks and networks and encryption and in rules you never even see. This invisibility makes money more powerful and also more fragile than ever before. And this is where cryptocurrencies enter the story, born from distrust itself. After the 2008 crisis, a radical idea emerged. What if we could have money without any central authority? Money enforced not by governments or banks, but by code, trust, outsourced to mathematics. And yet, even here, trust never truly disappears. It just relocates. You have to trust the software. You have to trust the network of miners. You have to trust that the rules won't suddenly change tomorrow. When crypto exchanges collapse or prices crash, the panic looks eerily familiar. It's a different technology, but the same old human fear. Because money has never really been about objects. It's about stories we agree to believe in together. A dollar bill no longer promises gold or silver. It promises something much stranger, that millions of people, most of whom you will never meet, will continue acting as if it matters. That shared belief is astonishing, and it is incredibly delicate. Trust takes generations to build. It can collapse in days. In Weimar Germany, life savings turned into confetti. In Zimbabwe, trillion-dollar bills couldn't buy a loaf of bread. In each case, money failed not because the numbers broke, but because belief did. When trust dies, money stops being money. And yet, humanity always tries again. New currencies emerge. New systems promise fairness, stability, and transparency. Because large societies simply cannot function without shared trust made tangible. Money isn't wealth. It's a map of trust. A record of who owes what to whom. It is a social technology that only works because we all collectively agree to pretend that it is real. The Roman soldier lowers the coin from his teeth. He nods. The merchant nods back. The transaction happens. The empire survives for one more day. Not because of the silver, but because of trust. Thanks for watching. If you found this interesting, consider subscribing for more stories about the hidden ideas that shape our world.